Welcome back. Live feed number 2. I am just whatever I've done with it. We use the back of this, so I'm pretty sure I have all the colours I need anyway. This might be a little bit on the red side. Rose Carmine, is that? No, it's Fuschia. Rose Carmine. No, Pink Madder Lake. Rose Carmine. Get there in the end. Okay, so that's fine. We just need to find a dark that's not red. I think it might be... How many purplish reds have I got? Purple. Well, that could work. I wonder if I'm going to need to combine two. That's not too bad. Okay, so I might have to use my... Let me just try the... I'm getting really hot, so I had to put my hair up. And yeah, I was hot in my cardigan. Okay, I might as well use the pencils I got out then. I don't think I need anything lighter than that. What did I say I wouldn't do when bouncy bouncy? Well, it's not actually that bouncy. Take that back. No chat on second show. What? Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. No chat on second show. YouTube's been a bit on and off all day, and I couldn't actually edit any videos earlier, and I couldn't actually upload any either. So there may still be a few hiccups, and I just hope to God that it doesn't happen throughout the feed. Yeah, I just said that you can, so I don't quite know. Oh, come on in. What's going on again? Oh, stop it. Learn to type, Bonnita. No, still can't type. I was going to wait for a few people to come on board, and then I'll go through the colours. Joanne, you were asking about the colours, weren't you? Because I copied and pasted the last live feed. All the colours that I used previously are listed in the information section, so all the colours will be there, so I don't have to sit and write them all out again, which is helpful. Okay, that's Twitter. That's 2 pages. Yeah, I think it's been a worldwide thing as well, with Instagram being down. Oh, well done. That was quick. Oh, let's try live number 2. And don't think... Oh, let's try it in... I've never tried it in here before. In LinkedIn. Let's go. Let's give it a whirl. Hi Erica. Hi Vicky. Oh, I hope she can jump on. They were having trouble and they couldn't converse. Right, I've got to charge my phone, so my reference is going to have to be over here. Okay, so the colours we've got are what are you? Oh. Light magenta, fuchsia, pink, madder, lake. Who the hell comes up with these names? I haven't even got it here. Right, here it is. Goodness sake. I don't think I'm going to need the rose carmine, so I'm going to question mark that, as it was all I was talking about through the entire beginning of the video, so clearly I wanted to use it. And this one here, ignore this, and ignore this, was Alizarin Crimson and fuchsia. That's how I'm going to have to make the dark red work. Way, you got there. YouTube's had, I don't know why I keep looking over there because the camera's there. YouTube has had a lot of issues today, and it's actually been down a lot of the day for a majority of the world. So I've brought the pad up so you can see exactly what one I'm using, but it's Bristol board. It's 300 series smooth, not vellum. I don't particularly like vellum. I like the smooth, but it's 300 series. And it's A4, which you can get from Angela at Paper Story. So I get all my standard sizes from Angela. All my not standard sizes, like my 11 by 14s, I get from Artist Papers. Okay, now I need the reference up. Okay, so I have my trusty, very worn out, as you can see. I've had this since my graphic design days, and I started my graphic design course in 2008. So this has been my trusty pencil for years and years and years, and all of my illustrations for my colouring books, all of my doodles and mucking about are all done with this pencil, and I used to sign with this pencil all the time as well. I don't know why, but I had to sign in a mechanical pencil. I couldn't do it with the standard pencil. It was really, really weird. Hello, Jan. Back again. I don't know what that accent was. Yeah, I don't like the vellum particularly. I don't mind it in the toned paper, but I don't like it on this. I like it in the tone because that's the type of feel that I go for. Okay, so I'm we're gonna go, let's have him no lower than here, I don't think, because he's got quite a shadow on him. So he's got quite a round body. If I did him that way, his body would be really small, but because we're going to do it portrait, I can get away with him having a larger body. So he's very rounded at the front, goes down at the back. I'm really conscious of turning my paper so you can see, but normally I'd be turning my paper all over the place. So that pretty much lays, and we've got, if I join it up as one big shape, we should finish it about there, I think. His neck starts here, so we've got a wing at the back. Oh right, I don't use OMS. I haven't tried it actually. It must be the surface then that OMS doesn't like. You do need a lot more layers with vellum to, if you're like me and you don't like the paper showing through, you do need a lot more layers. Okay, so we've got the distance between the end of that and that is about that. We then have the wing that comes up, which actually stops in the same place. If you were to draw a line, it would stop in the same place. So again, if you were to draw a line, we'd probably come down to here. That's across there. So that means that bum needs to come up. So that comes around. And that has a very downward shape there. Again, it's not going to look right until that shading's in. See a bit more of an arch on that back wing. Okay, and very roughly, so the height is probably up to there. And we've got really sweeping. I don't think I've drawn him low enough now. Sorry, I'm ignoring any comments that are flying by at the moment because I'm just concentrating. So his beak is, the gap between his beak, let's just draw that in, is actually very small. I can't believe how close to the, I've drawn him. That's really annoying. Oh, that's not helpful, is it? I can't believe how close I've drawn him. That's really frustrating. It's actually got quite a forward head. Right, that bends in much quicker than I've done it. So we go across, down, and he's got like a tiny triangle that comes all the way down, and then we've got big eye. I'm really annoyed with how he's taken up so much of the top left hand side. It's really frustrating. I shall just cut the paper down when he's done. In fact, this goes behind his neck, so it doesn't even go down. Just getting rid of the absolute worst of the lines. Right, almost there. So the last bit I'm going to very finely add is shadow detail. So we've got a shadow that runs in that direction in there. We've got loads of, right, got almost, do you know how, is that an eyebrow or is that a reflection? It's actually a reflection that somehow I've managed to get above his eye that makes it look like an eyebrow. So we've got a reflection in there, we've got one in there, and we've got various little ones in here. I think that's all the lighting it's caught off the ceiling. Just going to put them in very roughly. And that's the live feed dropped. Come on, come back. I don't know if you've gone or if you haven't gone. Right, I don't know if it's just my playback error. Can you let me know in the comments? I've had to come over to my phone because according to my live, I've just got nothing but fuzz. So I don't know whether it's you're about to lose me. I don't know. I'm just going to keep going. if you can hear me. I'm just drawing in where shadows and highlights fall at the moment. I'm going to have to just do a lot of work afterwards. Pigment at the moment. You're still going strong here. Oh, it's so frustrating. I literally have in my screen where it normally show me where I am, an error occurred, please try again later, and a playback ID, and I've just got snow, like the TV's gone. So yeah, fingers crossed then that you stay with me for a little while and that you don't disappear. Okay, so we've got another shadow area here. Okay, so the trick is with shiny objects, while I'm drawing out and you're all sitting there bored, the trick with shiny objects is the one rule I tell you with shading, ignore. So the one rule I tell you, for those of you that have been teaching under me for some time, is the stop-start rule. So when you do shading, I always tell you not to have the stop-start rule. And what I mean by the stop-start is, I've got nothing to show you. I did, didn't I? So say for example this petal, in fact here, look where that bit of shading is on that petal, there's your stop start rule. So you literally go bang bang from one shade to another shade, and that is exactly how shiny objects work. I'd grab the skull out, but it's not easy to get. I have to get up and get it from behind the drawer. But when you do shiny metallic objects, that's exactly what you have to apply. You have to apply the stop-start rule. So where your highlights hit and your change of colours and things like that. The colours may not necessarily have stop-starts, but as soon as your highlights hit and your shadows hit, that's where you really need to apply that rule. And that gives you the sense of sharp highlights. And it's sharp highlights that only really occur on shiny surfaces. So if you get those highlights right, that's a money box slit, so I'm going to leave that. If you get those highlights right, then you naturally start getting that 3D solid shiny object effect. So we have around this neck area, we have a very visual stop start. So this bit here is very dark, and then when you come to the next bit, it changes tone and not tone, it changes colour, saturation, and it's not as deep. But that is literally from one colour to another, so it's almost like a step. He's come on really well, hasn't he, that bee? I'm really, really happy with him. So we've got loads of little highlight pick outs that are in this area. And we've got, so what we need to do is get this round bodied look. Now he's supposed to be an inflatable. So right round the centre here, need to round his bottom off. It's a bit too flat. I think you could afford to come down a little bit too. Yeah, so roughly around the middle, he's got an effect on him that makes it look like the, I don't know, the stitching, the melting bit. When you get an inflatable, you get that rim, don't you, that's almost like melted plastic around the middle. So we need to come up. There's a few of them. and then there's just so many highlights over here. So there's a big one here, one here. In I think it's July. I don't think it's June. I might be wrong. But that skull is coming out in Anne Kohlberg's magazine as a draw along tutorial. So you'll be able to draw your own. Right, we have got like quite a fuzzy shape there, and we've got one there. And that comes up and that spreads across the wing as well. Comes back down here. Again, that looks like it's attached, but it's not. You've got like a little strings of highlight down here and masses of. I'm very quickly sketching. I'm being really bad here. I should have taken the time really to sketch it out properly before I started, but when in Rome. Got a little one on his tail. There's not much on his back. We've got one here, one here, we've got one here, one round here. And again, loads that quite purple actually, those. And then on his beak we have given you value for money here. That's what I'm doing. That's blue. And we've got pink reflection here. It's obviously coming from, we've got a warm grey in there, which, do you know what it actually looks like? Oh, I don't know whether I'm being really anal, but I might not be quite so precise there, but there's almost like a yellow tint to part of his beak. But for the sake of my sanity, I'm not going to worry about it. Right, his eyes. I want his eyes precisely round. Thought it would, hang on, love the bee, thought it was plastic. It was a figment figment of my imagination. Right, biggest is probably, how is my computer not on mute? Right, so that's the white. Then we have, I can't see. I'm really guessing here. I haven't done myself any favours. Right, mark now. Oh, that was a good guess. Okay, and then the black. It isn't actually round. Now I've done all that, it isn't round. It's blooming oval. Oh, for goodness sake. It's actually slightly oval. After all that, I'll just keep it round. Who cares? I don't. Not today. Not today. Oh my god, it's so hot in this office. If I open the doors, every fly, every moth will be in here, flittering around. Right, line work done. Put him straight. I think we're there. Find out when we start colouring him in, won't we? So, for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to need dark indigo, and I'm going to need a blue. Let's go with whatever that is because it's all I've got to hand and I can't be bothered to go and find anything else. I need a darker blue. You'll do. I don't know what you are, but you'll do. Right, so we're going to start, as I say, for the sake of my sanity, on the beak, and I'm going to start with the darker indigo, which actually very slightly goes above that white. So we got highlight here. I'm just going to put the highlights in. That shape's wrong. That shape needs to be like so. Right, let's see how quick we can render up a 3D beak, huh? I bet you were there for some time. We've got a line there as well, which comes out and actually matches some highlight here, so I've got to remember to keep that in. So yeah, the point of reflective surfaces is you have a lot of, depending on where it's taken, you have a lot of minute shadows and details in there. If you want me to grab my skull quickly, I will, because you'll see a finished piece then and I can probably explain what I mean a bit better. So just pop a comment down below saying skull, and then I know that you want to see it. And then, yeah, I can indicate to you a bit better. It's completely the wrong blue I've used, but like I say, I don't care today. They are pretty impressive animals. I've got a real blend on that bottom. I don't actually know how we're going to do it. You, I think. So this is where I get annoyed with myself with being really wanting to be precise with details, because I don't make my life easy. So essentially what you're seeing there is this, the reflection of this is shining onto his beak. Oh, Erica, if you're there, you're going to have to get Doris to come over. Tell her to move that ass. Right, I've only had one comment, skull, so if you're happy not to see it, then that's not a problem. But if you do want to see it, just pop that word down. Go on, type. Takes 2 seconds to type. Okay, now this is where I've got my titanium down. I'm going to go in with, it's definitely warm grey, and I'm tempted to go in with the 2 first, so I'm not too dark. Right, 272 is 2, isn't it? 272 is 3. I don't know if 3 is going to be too dark. No, 3 will be fine. That would be quite an impressive feat. I imagine there are thousands. Do you know what? I'm going to get the skull anyway, if I can find it really quickly, so bear with me. Found him. He's on the other side of my shark. Oh, hi Doris. Okay, so this is exactly what I mean by stop start. Okay, so shiny objects, my cat's ripping up my mat. Shiny objects have this stop start between the reflections and the shadows, and it's that gives you the illusion of it being really glossy and really shiny. And when I mean by picking out the fine details, I really do mean the fine details. So when you look, sorry, it's in a case. When you look really carefully, you can see all the tiny little lines that I've had to put in. All these tiny highlights in here I've had to put in. Just say I say hello if I'm sure she can hear. But so it's this stop start here. You can see that there's very, very little gradient that goes on with any shiny object. So, for example, my shark, you have the gradient that comes up from the darkest point all the way up to the light. But on the reflective, it is literally one to the other. I googled it, but only said faber-castell make 2 billion. Oh. Okay, right, black. Need black. Enough waffling. No, I wasn't doing black at all. This is what happens when I distract myself. So we have a very small area here. I think it's going to be too dark. I need the cold grey too. Warm grey too, even. Might even cheat because I can't find my warm grey. Are you? I need the warm grey one. I've got pencils everywhere. 271. Warm grey 2. Found you. Need a pencil extender. Not like I haven't got many of them. She can't chat apparently, which is frustrating. Be nice to say hello. It's been ages since we've had Doris on. The other thing with shiny objects is making sure that your pencil is really smooth, and that is why smooth paper works so well with shiny objects, because if you have any texture showing through, you lose instantly that gratification of it being a smooth polished surface. See, to blend this, I don't want to go any darker, so to blend this I will either use warm grey 1 or I'll go straight in with my luminance white. I love drawing objects. I love drawing watches. It's my favourite object to draw. So all the time you're just looking at a beak like this, it's not going to look like it's reflective. It's not until you get a good portion of it going that it starts to look like it should. Otherwise, you know, you've heard me say it before when I've done the tutorials that everything has to be whatever I like to say, because I've completely forgotten it now. In context, that's the word I'm looking for. So we need to make sure that this black, and there's a very, very dark blue. I did have a really dark blue out. Not the dark indigo before anyone mentions that. No, let's go with that one. Oh, Brill. Do you know, I can't remember how old I was, but when my auntie had a baby, I drew a teddy. And back then, I have no idea what it looks like because I didn't keep it. But back then, I was really, really stoked with how well the fur came out. I thought he looked really, really furry. He probably didn't. He probably looked really naff. But in my mind, it was cool. I have to say, you stumped me the other day, DJ, because my mum, her email is DJ, and I actually had to ask her, is that you commenting on my YouTube? She was like, nope. What was that noise, Safi? Okay, so we can see how smooth it's getting. Now we need to darken that slightly because it's still a little bit too bright. So we can afford now. I can come in with this darker blue over the whole lot, actually, including that bit. And we can then come in a tiny bit, I think, with the dark indigo. That's a bit better. Right, I am going to blend over. What am I going to blend over with? I'm going to blend over with the grey. Right, now I need to bring in the darker grey, and I think it's going to have to be a cold grey. Just pop some of the small shadows in I can see. Right, so the cold grey 4, I think I got, yeah, is what I'm going to have to go down to, because you're not going to see any highlights if I stick to the warm grey 2. Whee! Hello, Doris. Okay, I've missed loads of comments and I'm really finding it hard to read. I've just ordered this book, Draw Reflections in Colour Pens. Oh, I know that one, yeah. If you get the Anne Kohlberg magazine, it will be in, that skull will be in the magazine as a tutorial to do, written by moi. So, I don't know if you get them, but it'll be in there. Okay, thank you. I'm glad you made it over. I know it's not as easy as Facebook with regards to commenting and things like that, but Facebook was just getting a headache with the quality, and there's no way you'd get this quality over on Facebook, so at least I can stream in 1080, which is what we want. Okay, now let's refine this shadow a bit more. Okay, let's head on to the pink and I can carry on with the beak later, or do I want to blend it out? I think I want to blend it out now. Let's blend it out. Let's make sure that's clean. Right, I'm keeping my blender pencil. It's not a blender pencil, it's a luminance white. I'm keeping it blunt. And I'm just blending. I have to say, the luminance white for shiny objects is a godsend. Now, I don't know whether the slice... I'll say that the highlights are so subtle on that part of the beak. In fact, that will probably do it. Right, pinks. I've got to work out an order. I think I'm just going to go straight in with Pink Madder Lake. And then we're just going to build up from there. Very gently erase some of those, and I'm actually going to leave it as a patch because it's absolutely full of tiny little squares like that, which you probably can't see very well because you're so many miles away from the paper. With the power of my hands, you are now closer. Let me just get the focus sorted out. Okay. Yeah, there we go. You're in focus, aren't you? Yes. And it's easier on shiny objects to really work sections at a time. Don't get too ahead of yourself. reason I've gone in with the two pinks is because I want the undertone of pink when I go over the red. The red is to help me create the depth that I need. Whoops. Sorry guys. Took you for a little ride there. Okay. I just love the fact his eyebrow, which needs to move to there, is a reflection. I just think that's utter natural genius there. Just happened to be taking the photograph at the right angle. That his eyebrow is a reflection. Nick at going backwards and forwards. Right, I'm going to leave his eye round, even though it's going to look odd round. I really can't be bothered to change it. This is why shiny objects actually take quite a long time, because you end up fiddling and having to get the smooth look. You have to go over and over and over and over. And it can take ages, which is why the watches take so long. But they're worth doing. It does require just that little bit more extra work. So his eye isn't actually white, and it's not that wide either, so I don't even know why I bothered doing that. So just to remind myself that that in there is shadow, I'm going to get that in now. Because even with what little we're doing now, these reflections here will really start to make it. Come on, phone, play nice. Thank you. Cold coffee now. That's in the wrong place. And actually, this is probably one of the times where I will only leave white. The only time I will leave the paper white. You know me, I don't like leaving paper bare. Okay, so we're now going to go in with the fuchsia. Ignore my yellow finger. I got some ink when I was playing with polymer clay yesterday. I've got some ink stuck on my fingers. Okay, so we need to get right in to our gaps here. So I might even come back with my slice. But here is not perfectly white. It's actually like a really pale. In fact, I would say it's the light magenta. Yeah. It's not 100% white, not like the eyebrow highlight. I would point to the screen, but you can't see it. But that bit across his nose isn't white. And it's also one of the times where, depending on how I'm going, that shadow's in the wrong place. I won't worry about having 50 million layers either. Okay. How's that looking down the camera? So far, so good. This is at its ugly stage, as we are all familiar with those when we come to do our drawing. How many people have got to that ugly stage and thought to themselves, oh, I don't want to carry on? It looks horrendous. There's no end in sight. I think we've all done it, haven't we? Right, so the inside of that eye, again, I think is going to be warm grey. Cold grey, warm grey. I'm going to do cold grey. So let's get the oval shape in. We've got a highlight here, and we've got a highlight here. And the rest is pretty much solid. Yeah, solid shading. Probably made that a tiny bit too wide. Gotta love the tombos. You need to judge for yourself the type of depth that you need to go to, because the one rule is that if you can't see your highlight, you haven't gone dark enough. It's not that you haven't tried to go light enough. Night, Joe. See you in the group, lovely. So people really do worry about getting highlights in, but it's actually got nothing to do with highlights and everything to do with your shadows. Right, how are we doing for time now? I'm going an hour. And it's still fuzzy. I'm so glad we're going. I hope when I end, this actually has recorded. And I'm not just streaming for the sake of streaming. Or I could be screaming later. Who knows? Right, he's got orange, I think, as my phone's gone into power saving. orange. Right, I'll probably go for another half an hour and then call it quits. Right, now as that is brighter than I want, I'm now going to come over with my luminance. Yeah, I find it really, really weird. Right, we've got a tiny, in fact, I'm going to use the slice. I can't be bothered to try and keep. So I'm going to go in with the dark indigo because I want the black to be a bit richer than just standard black. Gone over into the orange there. See, luminance, also an eraser. Okay, now we're going to go over with the black. Going to get our slice. I'm just going to take a little bit off the top there. Done. Okay, let's strengthen. Around here. Now don't forget, tomorrow, if you didn't hear earlier, I have a 7 PM premiere on Is Tracing Cheating? So if you come and watch the premiere, you have the option to sit and discuss it with me while you're watching the premiere, a bit like a live feed. But it means that you get first looks and we can have a chat about it, and yeah, it's quite interesting. So it's only 10 minutes long. But yeah, that is premiering at 7 o'clock tomorrow. I don't need these two. I'm getting rid of those. We've got a bit more of an angle down here happening, so I need to get rid of some of those as well. So the only thing that's letting it down at the moment is the fact that we haven't quite got the blending there yet. So we just need to keep layering. Even if it is just the same colour, you still need to keep layering. Let's see if I can make these ones a tiny touch more. It is, yeah, the art share group is, yeah. Lovely friendly bunch in there. apologies if I keep going quiet, but you know me, if you've got any questions, please fire away. Happy to answer if I can. Okay, oops, I keep doing that. Keep knocking you with my pencils. Trouble is, if I use the zoom in function, it loses a bit of quality, so I'd rather just zoom you in manually with my hands. Now, if I really wanted to be anal, there is a slight blue tinge in there as well. And I don't know whether it's worth it. Bon, could you send me, oh my eyesight, could you send me the link sometime so I can buy the ceramic knife thingy, please? I hope you got it. No, I liked this. Oh, yeah, Joanne, no, yeah, Joanne got it, but she's gone now. If you go to slice.com or Amazon, just check both, because sometimes it is cheaper off Slice than Amazon, but just check. I'll try and remember to link after here if I can, or if someone wants to link in the group for me, because I don't think you can add links. Oh, he's got a little divot in there. I'm not even going to bother trying to put that in, because I am just being really picky now with details. I haven't even noticed till now, but all there is grey. Stop blowing on your work, Bonnita. Bad habit. Oh, we're getting there, aren't we? We are getting there. Okay, so we need a little bit more precision in here. We really need to get it as smooth as we can. Oh, stop hitting the camera, Bonnita. Oh, you need a tiny bit of that. That helps go dark, doesn't it? Right. Oh, hello. We got a dark-ish zone in there. But if I don't know if I'm going to need to go red. Honestly, this is a process that just goes through my head all the time. So those of you that follow my Patreon, you have no idea how much I talk to myself through all of this. So actually, we don't need to go darker. We need to, I think this, let's bring in our luminance. Come on. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Gotta love luminance for shiny objects. I'm going to turn. In fact, I'm going to turn that way. Is anyone about tomorrow at 7? Is that too early? Shall I change it? Confession, I have a pink plastic flamingos in my bag. Don't confess. There's nothing to confess to. We have flamingos in our garden. My kid is flamingo obsessed. Or flamingos, as she calls them. So we don't care. We love them. They're fun. And heck, it's in your garden. Who, you know, who are you harming? No one. Right, that shadow of highlight, I need to move back here. Now, I won't be commenting live tomorrow. Well, I will, but I'll be commenting in the comments with you because the video is not live, but I will be there with you live, if that makes sense. It would be really, really interesting to get your point of view because it's a fascinating subject and there is no right or wrong in the answer. So, yeah, it would be interesting. Always looking shiny. Whenever I hear the word shiny, I always want to sing that song from Moana. With that giant crab. By the way, I'm after, if anyone spots one, you know the titanium, there is a name for it and I can't remember. There's it's not a stone, precious metal, which has that titanium rainbow effect on it. I'm trying to get hold of some decent reference pictures of those and I haven't found any that are free to use. So if you spot any or know of any, let me know. Mingos. Haha, brilliant. Mingles. There is a tiny bit of, again, I'm being really anal, but then that's me. There is a tiny bit of juddering that hits some of these shadows, so I am going to use the Lumi just to blend some of those in a little bit. Yeah, it's a subject I've wanted to cover for a really, really long time, and somebody mentioned it to me on one of my videos. So I thought, heck, why not? Let's just do it. Let's get the video done. I'll do your Q&A. I'm hoping to record your Q&A tomorrow. Fingers crossed. And it's going to be a funny Q&A, seeing as David has some very, very strange questions in there, and I'm going to be answering them all. So there's probably going to be some very strange answers coming your way too. Right, I can't make sense of what I've done here. So it's got a long highlight down his back. of the neck there. This is shadow. And he's got, I've drawn it up here for some reason, and it shouldn't be. It should be back here. Like so. So, oh, I did draw my paper. Got shadow on the very back of his head. I'm going to have to stop using the red. I think I'm going to have to use the purple for my shadows. It's probably the wrong tone purple too, but hey ho. We'll try, and if it looks pants, I'll change it. Let's just get the shape I need. Just sort of along those lines. Oh, stretch. Oh. The other downside to not using a leaning desk anymore. Ooh, yeah. Find some good reference pictures, only because I just get bored of looking all the time and I can never make my mind up. I pick 20 pictures and then I'm like, nope, I can't choose from any of them. So yeah, quite possibly, or pearl would be nice. I have got a video coming actually on, I know we've done it on a live feed before, but making really effective water droplets. I found a hack that works really, really well. See, this is exactly why I wanted to discuss it. Okay, so Rob has said the subject of tracing is somewhat objective. Bolts down to opinion. I don't think you can go to jail if you do or you don't. Exactly. I don't want to give too much away at all of the video. Yeah, I think we need to watch it together. I think it'd be really, really good open discussion to have. I think tracing is taboo subject. Totally. And there's no need for it to be. I have never been ashamed of the fact that I use a trace down method. I'm not ashamed of the fact that I can sketch. I can do both. What I choose to do is my choice. And nobody is... Who are they to tell me what I can and what I can't do, basically. But, yeah, tomorrow. It's definitely worth you guys coming and having this discussion with me while the video is playing. And I'm really, really frustrated because I watched a documentary not that long ago. I say not that long ago, it probably was last year. That someone had linked in one of the groups. And it would have been perfect to have helped answer my question. But I think I answered it pretty well anyway. We'll see. Did you see my video on does natural talent... Oh my God, stop doing that, Bonnita. Did you see my video on does natural talent exist? Because you'll see what I used to use for tracing. I think people creating should be the focus, totally. If you can draw freehand and are in a huff, or is that supposed to be a hurry? You can line trace fine. You have to use the tools available for you to achieve. Bingo! Again, I'm not going to give it away, but there are 3 jobs that I mention in tomorrow's video that cannot do their job unless they have the tools. Why is art any different? It's not. So I've been really desperately trying to get hold of the original loo roll that we had at school that I used to trace with. And you can get hold of it still, I think, on eBay, but it's stupid prices. Yeah, it's... Oh, so I was just reading your comments and they're way over there and my phone keeps going to sleep on me because I keep chatting so much in between drawing. And there's loads going on my phone and people are commenting on a picture I don't even know what I've put up, so... Anywho, let's get that highlight in so I don't forget that. Anyway, the point of tomorrow's video is I really do think it discourages and it's taboo for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And people are made to feel like they're not an artist because they're using a trace down method. I'm an artist and I use the trace down method. If you don't like it, tough tighty. Oh, I'm excited about tomorrow's premiere now. See you all there. There's so many more highlights down the neck I haven't actually drawn in. Do you remember it, Erica? Ah, high five that lass. Stuff was amazing for tracing though. Did you know that some people think people that use CNC machines are cheat? What are CNC machines? Cheating. It's a different skill set that is needed, but definitely not cheating. What's CNC? Music factory.
CNC music factory.
No, it's a machine. Don't pipe up halfway through a Mr. feed. A feed, Mr. Coffee Man. Back to your wowing. You're non-adulting. You can tell I've waffled on too long. I haven't got very far on tonight's feed. It is a subject I'm really passionate about, and yeah, as I say, I don't want to give too much away because where's the fun in watching it tomorrow? Doris says hi, Coffee Man. Computer numerically... What? Computer numerically controlled. It's just gone way over my head. Oh, I'm so excited about how rounded that's starting to look. Oh, I'm easily pleased. Oh, can I just do something really, really cheeky while I have however many of you here, because I don't actually know. 11. I have 11 of you here. When you watch my videos, it's really easy just to watch them and then bugger off and go do whatever you're doing, because we all do it. I do it on my Instagram. I just flick through thinking, oh, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice, because I follow them. I forget to like the post, so I'm consciously making more of an effort. But YouTube works really well on the algorithms of thumbs ups and comments. Comments have been fantastic tonight, so thank you so much for that. But the thumbs up really, really do help push me up the rankings. So if you have ever watched a video of mine and forgotten to put a thumbs up on there, if you watch it at any time, could you just make sure that you give me a thumbs up, because that would be amazing, because it really does help. P.S. I hit 90,000 on one of my videos today. What? 90,000. And it's all to do with Vaseline. Go figure. Who knew? Who knew? Critically not competent. You can YouTube CNC. I'm going to have to later then. I remember when they first started using things like that. You can get CNC routers. Me too. Oh my god, I've lost me. Well, I'm a tad older than you, Bonnita. Are you? No, you're not. You can program a path for it. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'm not using tilt desk. Okay, this is going to sound really stupid, but the difference between the contrast from what you can see I'm drawing to the desk is vast, and I needed more space. And if you saw my desk right now, you'd understand why. I have pencils everywhere. I have camcorder, I have my webcam, ring light, microphone, arm holding my webcam, lamp over here, boxes of pencils, keyboard. I couldn't do it on a tilt desk. So when I moved it around and I wanted the new desk surface, I wanted something much more neutral. So when I do my videos, it's a lot more comfortable to watch on the eye. Side note, since changing, my Instagram has gone mad. And it's completely changed how people are liking and following me on Instagram now. Which sounds bonkers, but it's true. I am 44. You're only 2 years older than me. And you're only 3. Just go major way then, didn't I? Silly me. Right, this shadow actually comes under here. So we need to pull that shadow up, and that is a shadow that comes around. It sits, got a good portion here that sits under here. We've got a real dark section. It's definitely better to have changed to that purple under here. Right, I'm going to do the red coffee mug. That's definitely cold now. Tut tut, coffee man. I know, right? It's been an hour. It's disgraceful. Oh, no, I'm only joking. I could do with a cold drink though. In fact, I have some water here. You're alright, coffee man. Don't go dying just for the sake of a cup of coffee.
Well, no, you have to wait till I get to a safe zone.
If I waited until you got to a safe zone, I would be dehydrated. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to use that red anymore. I would say the joys of being a wow wife, but he was a wow husband for a very long time, so I'm not going to criticise. Okay, we're just going to have to keep layering now. This bit's a bit dull and boring, but this is why shiny objects can take such a long time. At least with fur, you get to sort of work your way through the different colour pencils, but it can get a bit tedious doing a shiny object. You're making me want a coffee and I've gone to bed. Hope he's back. Yeah, he is feeling better. Actually, he's back to work now. Thank God. I had to whisper that. Thank God. No, he heard that bugger. No, only because, like...
She hates me. Don't make coffee quick enough.
When you... Okay, look, it went like this, right? You had half term for 2 weeks. Nothing got done, really. Then he ends up doing his back in. So that's 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Okay? And I still can't get anything done because I'm playing nurse for 2 of them. And then it just, yeah. Pretty much a month of not being able to do anything for myself. Not that I'm selfish or anything, but I like to sit in my den and I like to sit and draw. And I like to do it in peace and quiet. But yes, he's back to work and I would say fully functional, but he's not. His nickname is not TikTok without reason. Flamingos live a bit south of me and the egrets? They're the small ones, aren't they, that have that really long, thin beak. I think we've got some in a zoo that we went to. I've got some photos of them. I totally need me time, which I don't get very often. Hence why my baths take an hour. And if they get cold, I just add more hot water. Living the life of luxury. Right, I'm just adding in a highlight here that I appear to have... See, how good is that knife? It's perfect. Might even clean that up a little bit. It's gotten a little bit too pink. Do get a lot of fallout though. Okay, how long have we been going? An hour 34. Right. I'm going to wrap up in a minute. I'm going to wrap up and post myself to Doris. Because it's half term next week. Again. And it's supposed to be miserable weather all week. Over a holiday in a hot country. Or a holiday in general actually would be quite nice. No, put that down before you make a mistake. There we go. Oh, it's been so nice having you here with me tonight. It's been so nice and chatty. I've missed that while we're all getting used to these YouTube lives. But look at the quality. It's so much better than if I was doing this on Facebook. And hopefully you're getting more from it. Make sure that's clean. I'm going to probably ask Stabilo again, probably in about 2 months' time for some more. How dare you?
Sorry.
How's Dee Dee not told you off? For another giveaway. So what sort of prizes would you like? Because I can pretty much choose which prize to give away. So I can either do fine liners or pencils, more pastel pencils. They do markers and all sorts of stuff. In the hundreds. Oh, well done, John. You won't regret it. It's brilliant. It's just that little bit more functional than using a normal scalpel blade. Have you seen my... Have I posted it? Yeah, I would have. My celebrity endorsed portrait that I'm doing. With my beautiful friend Maria. Maria. Why do you have to sing it? You can't just say it, can you? You have to sing it. Line up there. Get that shadow. Need to get that joined up and then I can make a bit more sense of that highlight. And the shadow that is here. I've got this one that comes down. And this one that comes up. It's really annoying because I don't have any darker pink that sits within the pink. It really starts to go red. I need some... what do you mean you need some ambition? You were in a gallery, for God's sake, woman. I've got all the pencils. Oh, have you? What? Stabilos? I haven't actually used their pencils. I was a little bit stoked when they asked me to be a influencer, so share the love and all that. Get you some prizes. Like a good giveaway. I don't think that's gonna get me what I want, but that is, so that's perfect. Not doing myself any favours holding two pencils like this. That shadow's annoying me. Just put my brush down. John, you have to practice. There is no talent. Just need motivation, actually. A few hours in the day would be nice. Right, I I'm going to go and have a late night coffee because that's exactly what you do at 10:30 at night when you're due to go to bed in an hour. Which is probably why I don't sleep very well. But that's it. My back's aching now. Wind, wind, wine, wine. Moan, moan and all that jazz. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to zoom you out because you always get a better effect when you're zoomed out. Let's focus. There you go. You can really start to see, I'll just relax back in my chair. You can really start to see how rounded it's starting to look. And once we get the shadow in this area here, it will really start to look 3D. So I have pencils everywhere and now I have to work out what the hell I was using for the Patreon tutorial and what I was using for this, and that will happen in the morning because I really can't be asked right now. Okay, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already hit the bell button, do that because it notifies you when I'm gone live. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button as well. Don't forget the thumbs up on the videos that you do watch now and in the future. And I shall see you tomorrow for the premiere of Is Tracing Cheating? Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, whichever it may be, and I shall see you on the other side.